Hi, good morning all.
Yeah, hi. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. So I hope my screen is sharing, right?
It's visible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can we recap whatever we understood in previous class? So what we understood in previous class and what is the comment we discussed about? Anybody? It is not so I'll ask the questions, okay? Daily basis, I'll just rewind what we discussed yesterday class, okay? So yesterday class, we don't have yesterday class. Day before class, we were discussing about the DDL commands. So what do you mean by the DDL commands? What is the full form of the DDL commands?
Data manipulation
Data
language.
definition language.
DDL command, not DML, DDL.
Data definition language.
Data definition language, right? So that is the data definition language over here. So under the data definition language, what are the commands? Command. What are the command?
Create, alter,
Create,
Yes. Create, alter,
create, alter,
rename,
drop, truncate,
truncate,
flashback, purge.
flashback, and purge, right? So in DDL commands are auto committed or not?
Yeah, DDL comments or auto
Auto
committed.
committed, right? It is clear. So if I want to rename a particular column, which syntax I should follow?
alter,
Alter,
rename.
rename, right? If I want to rename a particular column, if I want to change the column data type, what command I should use? Already you created a table. In your table, you are having a data type like it's a varchar to 20. I want to change that varchar to 20 into varchar 10. Which command we will use?
Modify.
Modify, yes. So under alter, it is modify command we are going to use. So obviously when we are using the under alter, we are having like the comments like it is modify, add, rename, and drop. So you will be receiving a message like your table has been altered, either than your table has been modified here, right? So when you're using the drop command directly, drop table name. So what happens to that command?
Table is deleted.
Table is deleted. Okay, after once your table is deleted, it will be stored in your recycle bin, right? So if I want back that table, what should I do?
We have to use the flashback.
Flashback. It is clear, right? So why I'm asking this is because so once completing the SQL, again you will be having a doubt what command I should use. So just to rewind it. Okay. So if you, what do you mean by the database objects actually? What do you mean by database object? So anything we are going to create, not only table. So in recent days, we are creating a table only. So you'll be getting an idea about the table. So any data, any object we are going to create like a table or a view or a synonym or a sequence, procedure, function, those are the database objects here, right? So so we are having the base table over here. So previous day, I also told like base table. And you're having any idea about the base table? Base table means already existing table in our database. Those are the base table over there. Okay. For example, my requirement is already I'm having my base table like EMP table is my base table. Okay. I want to copy all the records, whatever I'm having in my base table. That is my EMP table. So which command I should use?
Where one is equal to one condition.
Where one is equals to one condition. So when you're using this condition, automatically whatever records I'm having in my base table, I can get that records over there, right? So up to this, we were, I hope you would have understood about the DDL command. So next we are having the DML command over here. So DML stands for the data manipulation language over here. Okay. So DDL commands deal with the data over here, or it will handle the data here. So DDL comments are used to manipulate the data. So previous days we came across this word manipulate. So where we are inserting the record, deleting the record, and modifying or updating the records over here. So when we use this commit command after using the DML command, So here previously DDL comments are auto committed. So there in the whenever we are using the DDL comments, we will not use this commit keyword. Whereas in DML operations, the DML, whenever we are using this DML comments, we should use the commit command over here. So because all the DML comments are it is not auto committed over here. So these are the DML comments here. So it is the update, insert, delete, and merge here, right? For insert. So what do you mean by same way in this DML operations, when we're using this DML comments over here, we cannot undo rollback the changes over here. So that you can observe how we can able to, why we are mentioning this particular line, like we cannot undo the rollback. Rollback, it is a TCL comment. So why we are telling? So in upcoming examples, you can understand it, right? So DML comments are slower. So this is the disadvantage here. So coming into the insert comment. So insert, we all know it is used to add the new records into the table of the existing data or the existing database table over here. So it is also used to insert the data into a table. To insert a data, table should be there. Table should be available there. Then only we can add the records into the table, right? So insert, where it is also a DML comment over here, it is used to insert the records into the table here. Okay, so this is the syntax we are going to follow here. The syntax is that insert into the table name, value, and the values over here. So this is the syntax you are going to follow. So as I told, in SQL, we'll be learning we'll be telling not the formulas, we'll be telling like it is a syntax here, right? So in this example, we have created one table over here. Okay, this is the table we are creating. So create table name over here. So we all know when creating a table, it should not start with a number. It should not have the gap here, or it should not have the hyphen here. Okay. So then according to our requirement, we are creating this is the student tables over here. So where you are creating the serial number. So obviously it is related to the number data type. So whenever it is a number data type, we don't need to mention the size over here. By default, it is from 1 to 38 here. So next it is the student name here. So that is the varchar 2, it is 20 here. Again branch, it is varchar 2 20. Next it is the joining date, JDate, it is related to the date data type here. So next is the mobile, it is related to number 10 we have given. So next is the email, so which is also varchar 2 20 here. So after getting, this is the DDL command, create is a DDL command over here. So you're creating your table, you're creating your table. So once you're creating a table, you're checking your table. Okay, using the description like this and the table name, you can able to find the data type, how the table has been created. Okay, so now we are going to add the records into the table here. Okay, first we are using this according to the syntax here. So when you are using the syntax like insert into the table name values and entire value you are going to mention, that means what happened? Whatever columns you are having in your table, for the columns, you are going to add the new records into the table over there. Okay, so insert into the table name, so values. So for the first one, it is for the serial number. You are given like 1 over here. So next it is the name. So whenever you are using the name, we are going to use it in the single quotes over here, inside the string here. So single quotes. So where you are mentioned like it is A here, again CSE. So as it told, the branch over here. So it is this CSE over here, the branch here. So why we are mentioning A, the single character in A, that means a single quote is treated as a character over here. The single quotes is treated as a character here. Okay. So that you are mentioned like for the name you are mentioned like it A in a single quotes over here. Same way, CSE, it is a branch over here. So coming into the joining date. So what happens here? Directly we are using the sysdate over here. So obviously, while entering this record into my table, what will be the output for this particular joining date? We mentioned sysdate over here. So how we will consider the sysdate? What do you mean by sysdate here? Sysdate means it is the server date over here. So directly you are mentioning, you are not entering the date over here. You are giving like it is a sysdate over here. So you can able to find the server date over here. Okay. So next it is the mobile. So mobile number. So you are entering the mobile number. So next it is the email ID. So you are given the email ID over here. So email ID also we are mentioned in single quotes here. So now tell me whether it will allow us to enter the first record or not. So I'll just execute in our SQL developer. Okay. We're creating the table here. Control enter. So you can able to see what is the error it is showing. It is showing us name is already used by an existing object. That means, what does this mean? This error means
Table name already exist one.
Table name already there.
already existing, right? So while executing itself, you can able to judge what is the error over here. Accordingly, you can able to use it. So I need to change the table name. So where I'm adding one more character over here, like where I'm giving like student, XX underscore student underscore details underscore 6 over here. Okay. So control enter. So you can able to see that it has been, table has been created. In this description over here. So now in this particular table, we are going to add. So if you're checking, if you want to check the table also, you can able to find no records into the table. Only the columns only will be visible here. Why? Because we created only the table. We didn't add any records into the table over there. If you want also, you can check. So only the columns here. Now only we are going to add the records here. Okay. So what happens to the first record? It will allow us to enter the first record here.
Yes.
It will allow, right? So coming into the, you can able to see one row has been inserted. So coming into the second record. So what about the second record here? So where I'm entering like given like it is 2 over there, and where I mentioned B here and triple E I mentioned, and 3rd September 2022.
777.
77. What happens to the 77? It is related to the mobile number only. For the mobile number you are given.
Yeah, but it is
single
There is
quotes.
single quotes.
It is in single quotes over here. You can able to see the. So now what happens here? As I told, when we are using under it is treating as a character over here. So you are given a number. So obviously what happens here? It is accepting, right? It is accepting. So in case if you are not, if you are giving one less number over here, so in that case, it will accept or not?
Accept.
It will accept. It will accept. So why it is accepting here, the concept here? So here you are given like number 10 over here. So within number
Maximum.
10, maximum it is 10. So within less number, it will like it is accepting over here. In case I'm entering another, I'm adding another some numbers over here. In this case, it will
Error will be.
error will occur, right? So like you can able to see value larger than specified position allowed for this particular column over here. Okay, coming to the third row. So what about the third row? So 3 I have given, C we have mentioned, EC we have mentioned, again date you are given like it is 3rd step over here, September. Next it is 22. Again you are given the number over here. You didn't mention in single quotes. So when we are mentioning in a single quotes, a single quote, it is we treat as a character over here. Okay, so now what happens here? It will allow or it will not allow?
It
It
will
will allow.
It will allow. So one row has been added. So coming into the 4th row. So where we are inserting the 4th new record here. 6th record, 4th record here. So what about the 4th one here?
don't allow, man.
It won't allow.
It will won't allow. So what happens? Why it is not allowing? Why it is allowed here?
Number we didn't have given any specific size.
Number we didn't give any specific size. So obviously what happens to the number over here? By default it is 1 to 38. So up to 38 digits you can enter when you are creating with a number data type. When you are giving a specific size only, it will going to check the size. If you're not going to give the size over there, it will allow you to enter the numbers. Up to 38 you can enter. 1 to 38 digits you can enter here. Okay.
Okay.
So now what happens? Now we enter the records into the table. So we want to check the records here. Okay, select star from the table name. So what happens? Whatever record we enter, that you can able to find in a particular table over here. So the first syntax is where we are entering all the values over here. Okay. First syntax, I want to enter and add a new record into my table. So we are following this syntax here. Insert into the table name values. And what are the values according to the columns you are entering. So you will be having a doubt here. if I'm going to enter first D over here, and last if I'm going to enter like, I'm entering like 1, 2, 3. So will it accept?
No.
It
No,
will
ma'am.
not accept. So you'll be having a doubt also. Why we cannot add in between? You cannot add in between. Why? Because you created a table with this order only, like it is the serial number, where it is the student name, branch, joining date, and the mobile and the email. So according to that only, you should enter the values here. Okay. So obviously, while checking the table for the first one, you didn't enter the sysdate over here. So obviously, what happens here? It is considering the server date over here. So you can able to see the first one. It is the server date. When you're using the sysdate, it's nothing but it is going to calculate the server date over here. So obviously for the mobile number, everything here. So even we are having the list according to the number, according to the size, if you're giving the less number of digit, it will accept here, right? So any doubts in this? So in this also you can see here. So why it shows as a duplicates here. So you can able to see duplicate entry over here. So it is not because you are entered 7 over here or it is showing, it is not so. So where we didn't add any condition, any rule to a particular column over there. So obviously what happens, it will accept the duplicate entry. So you'll be having a doubt why it will accepting the duplicates, right? So why it is accepting here means, so for example, we'll just check with our EMP table. Okay, for example, I'm just showing you. Okay, so where I'm using it like this, the EMP table. So where you are going to, so in your EMP table, you can able to see, you have put in one rule over here. So in the particular column, you are adding a rule that is called as the constraint. It will be our last topic in our SQL. Okay. So constraint means where you are adding one rule to your particular column. Okay. So like that, if you are in a particular table, we can add the primary key. That means it will not allow the duplicates and the null values. Primary key. In constraints, we'll be using that too. In one particular table, you can use only one primary key. Okay. If you are adding one rule to a particular employee number, in this we are adding not null constraint. This is also one of the constraint over here. That means what happens in our EMP table, while column over here, employee number column, it will not allow the constraint. It will throw an error. It will not allow the particular recording on role, like in this particular column, should not contain not null. It should contain some value. When you are entering the value only, it will allow you to add into a particular table over there. Okay. So in this table, we didn't add any constraint. We just doing our DML operation only. In that case, what happens? It is allowing us to enter the duplicates also into the table. So you can able to see same combination. So this is a duplicates only, right? It is a duplicate entry only. So they can able to see the second one also. The second serial number is also same value. Here also shows the same record over here. So why I'm showing the example is, in our EMP table, we created one rule for a particular column, like employee number should not be null. That means while entering the data into our employee table, under our employee number, it should contain any number. As it is related to the employee number, it should contain one number only. Without a number, we cannot add the new record into our table over there. Okay, we are added one rule there. So in this example, we didn't add any rule. Just we are doing our DML operation, like insert into the table, and where we were adding a new record into the table over here, right? So any doubts in this? Up to this, it is clear, right? So this is the format. So as I told, the date format, under our conversion function, we'll having the date format over here. So first it is the date, next it is the month over here. So you are going to enter the month as first 3 letters over here. For the September, you are mentioned like ACP over here. So hyphen. So where it is 2022. This format also it will accept. Or you are entering like this format, in this format also it will accept here. You can able to see that output, the value which has been added into your table over there. Okay. So after entering the value, after you enter the value over here, okay. So where you are using, now you can able to see, we just added some records into the table, and we are seeing the records like cells are from the table name over here. You can able to see the records here. So now we are using this commit. As I told, this DML comments are not auto committed. We should enter. So we are using the commit over here. So commit is completed. So you are going to check the table again. Without giving commit means it will only show you the output. It is only used to show you the output only. Okay, you have added the record into the table over there. So when we're using this commit, that means it will be saved into your database permanently, right? So every time we need to use this commit command over here under our DML operations. Not only insert, it is for the updation also. It is used to delete also. Those under those types of commands, under data manipulation language, under these commands, we are going to enter this commit manually. Okay. So first syntax is where we entered all the values, whatever we have in a particular table over here, according to the columns here. Okay. Second insert over here. So where I want to add only for the specific columns over there. Okay, I don't want to add the entire columns, whatever the table is consisting. For example, I need to add only the serial number and it is a name only I want to add. And the branch, I don't want to add the date or mobile or the email over here. So where we are having another syntax like insert into the table name. So where you are mentioning what columns according to your requirement, what are the columns you need. So column 1, column 2, column 3, n number of columns here. So values according to this column, you are going to enter the values here. Okay. So this is the syntax we are going to follow when we are going to specify a particular columns, those type of requirements, we are going to follow this syntax here. Okay. So now you are entering, you are adding some records over here. So you can able to see. So insert into the table name here. So where we are mentioning specific columns like serial number, student name and branch. So what about the remaining? So what about the remaining columns? So we are having the remaining columns like it is a joining date we are having the mobile over here. We are having the email ID over there, right? So what about that columns? Whether we will get the values for that columns or the values will be filled with null or it will be empty. So what is your opinion here?
Empty
Okay.
space.
Null.
Null or you'll be having a doubt, right? Null or empty. So you can just check here. So already in our table, we are having 6 columns we are having. Under the 6 columns, I am going to specify only 3 columns over there. Okay. So control enter. This also I will enter. I will start from x6 underscore student underscore details underscore 6. So can able to see. So specifically, we are mentioning some columns. We mentioned the first 3 columns over here. So obviously, what happens to the remaining columns? It is not showing us the empty value. It is treating as null. Automatically, it is treating as null here. Okay. So wherever I didn't mention the values for the particular columns, it will consider as null. So coming into the 6th row over here. So we added the values for the particular column like a serial number and the joining date over here. So you can able to see for the serial number and the joining date alone, you can able to get the output. So for the remaining, it is treating as null here. So this is the syntax we are going to follow, right? So any doubts in this up to this? Specifically, you are mentioning one particular columns over there. Okay. So another example. So where I want to insert multiple records. So this you don't have in your notes over there. Okay. I want to insert. I don't want to use this insert command over here. So for each and every time. Okay. I want to add some 4 rows into the table. I want to add some 4 rows or 2 rows into the table. So using only one insert command over here. So where we are having, so whenever we are using this insert all command, so we are having this insert all over here. Okay. So this is also a DML command over here. It is used to insert the multiple records into a table or multiple tables over here by you writing one query here. So it avoids writing multiple insert command here when we are using this insert all. So we are having a syntax like insert all into the table name column list values columns, again into the table name column name values value one, so on. So where you're using this insert all over here. Okay, with this in the same table, I don't want to use this. Every time I don't want to use this insert comment over here. Only one time I'm using here. Okay, so you just observe here. So in this we are having how many rows we are having here in this particular table, or we'll take it from our EMP table itself. Okay, already we are having one table. So where it is EMP underscore BH. So we just created this table. Okay. So whatever records we are having in an EMP table, same records we'll be having. So I think so we are having only 14, instead of 14 records, we are having only 11 records over here. Okay. So where I am going to add, so where I'm going to add specifically for the e-name, I'm going to add, okay, where I'm going to add the e-name and the job over here. So how to add 3 rows there into this particular table? Add 3 rows. So insert all into the table name. So what is the table name? It is EMP BH over here. Okay. So where I'm giving the values over here. So if you want, you can give all the values, or you can also give only a single value, but you are using a specifically one particular column means what should we do? We should follow this method over here. Okay. So you just try to add the 3 rows into in this particular table. Add 3 rows. So what you can give the first value? So according to this, it is the
EMP
employee
number.
number. For the EMP
Yeah.
number, you are giving 100 over here. Okay, first it is 100. So next it is a e-name. So where I'm giving A
Name.
over here. Again, it is a job. So where I'm giving like it is yes over yes. Sales I'm giving. So sales we don't have. So sales I'm giving over here. So next it is the MGR. It is related to the employee number only. So where I'm mentioning like it is 700 over here. Okay. So now coming again to the higher date. So where I'm using this sysdate. So in coming to the sysdate, should I use in single quotes or I should use directly the sysdate here? So you'll be having
Direct.
that idea. So it is direct only where
Directly.
we're using like sysdate over here. Again, it is a salary column over here. So what salary? We are giving the salary like it is 1000 over 100,000 we are giving. Okay. So commission where we are mentioning 0. Again, coming to the department number. So where you are entering the department number as 30. Okay, this is your first value. Okay, so you're adding the first record over here. So like that, you're adding some multiple records over here. Okay, I don't want to use this insert command each and every time. So you're using only insert all into the tables over here. So where I'm changing, like 200, I'm changing into B here. Just I'm changing the employee number only. Okay, so where I'm changing C here. So now what happens here, when we're using this insert, at a time you're going to add the multiple records into the table. You should not use it with the first thing, you should not use it with the table name over here. Okay. First, you should not use it with the same table over here. Second thing, you should not use the semicolon over here. Semicolon, you're going to use it at the last only. Okay. So here you can able to observe it is having 11 rows over here. Okay. So now you're executing this. You just observe what type of output we are getting. So insert all into the table name value. So where we enter all the values over here. Okay. So execute this. So what happens here? 33 rows has been inserted. So whether this output is correct or wrong? Whether this output is correct or wrong?
Wrong.
It is wrong.
No.
It is wrong entry. So you will be having a doubt. So you can able to see here. So in our table, it is considering we are having only 11 records. So it is considered 33 records over here, and it shows as it is 44 records entirely. So this is the wrong entry. In that case only, to overcome using the same table name, we are using it like select star from. So before that, I will give rollback command over there. Okay. So in this rollback, you can just observe. So in this, while adding the record into my table, I didn't give commit. If I give commit means it will save into my database permanently. Okay. So I cannot make any changes. That means I cannot delete, I cannot restore my previous, what was the table, I cannot able to restore when we're using this commit command. So without using the commit, I'm using this rollback here. So I'm using the rollback command over here. So you can able to see rollback has been completed. So if you are going to check the table, you can able to find before using this insert, before adding the records, what was the condition? How many records in the particular table is consisting? That entire records you can able to find. So previously it was consisting only 11 records over here, right? So in that case only we are using this rollback. So if you are giving commit means we cannot do this rollback. We cannot use this rollback itself. Once you give that save, but once you're using that commit, it will be saved into your database permanently. You cannot retrieve back the same table, right? So now I used rollback. So obviously you can able to see only 14 rows over here. So now in this, instead of using the table name, okay, I'm using it like dual. This is the syntax here. So where you're using it like select star from dual. So why we are using this dual, I just tell you. Okay, so insert into the insert all where you are entering the values into the table name. So control enter. So now you can able to see only 3 rows has been inserted. That means into a particular table, you can able to see only 3 rows. According to our requirement is only to add this only this 3 rows over here. Okay. So now you can able to see along with our records, this 3 rows has been added into the table here. Right. So where we are using this insert all. Okay. Same way your requirement will be, you want to add multiple records. Okay, so not only these 3 records, not only the same table, the table may differ. For example, we are going to add this table over here. Okay, so now we are going to give. So in this one particular, I cannot use this table over here. So why I cannot use this table here? For example, in this table, we are having according to the columns, you are entering like it is 100, B, sales and 700 and it is state over here 1000 and 0, 30. Okay. So in my student table, so how the student table is created here? How my student
ID.
it is created
Student.
with the student ID. So it is created with the, can able to see the student ID, student name, branch, date, mobile and email. Okay. So in that case, can I use this entire? So instead of you entering that, I copy this. Okay, I'm copying the same thing here. So where I'm using. Just a second. Okay. So in this table, in my EMP_BH table, we are having that records. According to the columns, you are entering the values. Same values we are entering again. Okay, you are adding another row also. I want to add another row also. So where you're using it like under insert all command only, you're using another table also. Okay, so where it is XX student details values. So where you mention the values according to that, according to this table columns, you enter the values. So now in this case, it will allow us to enter the values